of people excited for Jurassic World Dominion, and at the time this video was released, it is a year before we're waiting for it to come out. Hopefully, if everything dies down and everything works, because a kind of musical chairs is happening right now with the movies. And there are some people who are very concerned about it, some people who are worried, and some people, believe it or not, who are just over the Jurassic Park franchise. As this video is categorized in the playlist of my thoughts on TVs and movies, I decided to just voice my thoughts. Putting the U back in YouTube, like that will ever happen. That's going extinct too. It got me wondering, why are people losing so much interest in Jurassic Park movies? Well, I know how I feel about some of the issues in the Jurassic Park movies, and I thought it was just me, but I went around on different forums like Reddit and comments on different videos about Jurassic Park, and many of the people were saying the same thing. That's what's missing from the Jurassic Park movies, and it's such a strange thing because it kind of doesn't fit, you would think, because this is a movie about dinosaurs being brought back to life. But what's missing from these Jurassic Park movies, what is killing the sequels, is the lack of realism. And when I say realism, there are no stakes involved. All the main characters are totally safe. None of the kids die or anything bad happens to them. And that's something that I found that The Lost World and the first Jurassic Park actually got right. Now, no kids died in the first two movies, but at least they got injured. Timmy got electrocuted, and the little girl who got introduced to the island buddies of Compsognathus got chewed to all oblivion. We couldn't even see her. She was recovering in the hospital, but it was really bad. Even in Michael Crichton's original story, a baby got eaten by Compsognathus in its crib. You think they would go back to the source material. You don't have to show it. In The Lost World, they didn't show it, but you can show a little bit to let the people know that this is actually really dangerous. Granted, Timmy didn't get eaten or hurt by dinosaurs, but they were running away from dinosaurs, which is the whole reason why he got electrocuted in the first place. It felt dangerous, and why wouldn't the air and the atmosphere of the experience of watching a dinosaur movie feel dangerous when there are actual dinosaurs in it, which are supposed to be dangerous? For example, the Indominus Rex was such a cool concept, and yet still, it didn't feel very dangerous, because the only people who got eaten or killed were people we weren't invested in. I know it sounds so heartless and cold, but you guys know. You know somebody, and something happens to them, you're like, oh crap, something happened to that person. But if you don't know someone, you say, oh my god, that's so sad, and you put a sad face emoji on the Facebook post, and then you just go right on to another post of a meme, and you're like, ah ha ha, you put the laugh emoji. Don't lie, you do it, because I do it. Nobody gives a damn if it's somebody that you're not invested in. Unless you read a story about that person or you actually heard that person speak, you're not going to really care about what happens to them. That's why B-movie monster movies have so many people in them, and the people are stupid because they make you feel as though you want those people to die. It's easier to feel good about wanting those people to die or seeing those animals eat people because they're just vapid characters. It's like erotica movies. You really don't care. You just want to see a different situation. You're like, these people are horrible actors. I don't believe anything they say. Let's see what happens. They're just vehicles for entertainment. You take a movie like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, and you're like, wow, I really feel for this man. I see where he's coming from, and holy crap, I actually find myself rooting for him when he goes on a killing spree. TV shows like Boardwalk Empire and Game of Thrones, you feel horrible when they cut off Ned Stark's head. You feel horrible when something happens to Jon Snow. But then they started to go into that really weird area in Game of Thrones where the main characters just started to evolve to grow their own plot armor that was so thick, it made you feel like you were choking on it just watching it. That is the overarching problem with the Jurassic Park movies, and that is what is killing the movies. I think that's what's killing movies in general. You don't have any loss. You don't feel anything for the characters. And if you do feel something for the characters and you fall in love with them, they're always safe no matter what. Even in situations where they should get maimed and their hand could get chopped off or something, you don't have to kill the character. Maim them. Make us feel as though this is dangerous. And you know, dare I say it, there's gonna be a huge lawsuit if they actually bring dinosaurs back to life and a bunch of people act like they're impervious to dinosaur bites and they just go around pretending the dinosaurs understand that they're trying to rescue them or something, and that the dinosaurs eat them because the movies portray dinosaurs as not being able to hurt kids or hurting people who are nice. In The Lost World Jurassic Park, which is my favorite Jurassic Park, okay, the classic stands alone. That's not in the same category as all the others. But of all the sequels, The Lost World Jurassic Park is the best Jurassic Park, I think, because the stakes were so high. Everyone fell in love with Eddie Carr. One of the things that stands out to me about that movie is that people that you cared about died. Eddie Carr sacrificed his life for those people. We fell in love with him because he was such a great guy. And then he was scared, and such a great actor too. But when he was in the Jeep or the SUV, those T-Rexes were coming after him, he didn't get out. He didn't save himself. He could have just let the trailer go or ease up for a second and get the gun, and it was snagged like a Final Destination moment. That was so horrible that happened to him. But he decided, despite him being afraid and seeing the two T-Rexes there, that he would still put his foot on the gas to pull his friends up from the trailer so nothing would happen to them. What a guy. And then he got snapped in half by two Tyrannosaurus Rexes. Can you imagine how horrifying that death was? That was the worst death out of all the deaths in Jurassic Park, I think. The worst. Even Jurassic Park 3 did okay with that. Then they started falling off the wayside with Jurassic World. They rebooted that and it was like that was for kids. But Jurassic World 3, the poor guy, Udesky, he got sacrificed. Like, he got paralyzed, and I'm sure he was in a lot of pain. He couldn't save himself, and the whole time he's thinking, oh my god, these raptors are gonna eat me. Please help me. His friends are up in a tree. They can't help him. He's just lying there, just dying. And then he realizes that those people aren't gonna come down and help him. Why would they? The raptors are right there. And maybe he was aware of everything that was going on, and he didn't want them to come down anyway because the raptors were there. He realized it was a trap, but he couldn't say anything because he was freaking out of it. His spine just got severed. The raptors are like, okay, this plan is a watch. Let's just go and snap his freaking neck. Like, dude, that was freaking brutal. Can you imagine? And then the guy, what was the name? The one that had the phone on him. Nash. Yeah. Can you imagine how horrible that was from the Spinosaurus aegyptigus held on to him and then dropped him on the ground, and he's trying to get away and he's saying, help me. And like, man, that was horrible. I felt so bad. They weren't main characters, but we did start off with them, and that's as close as we can get there. There was still the risk of danger, and that was great. And then they just amped it up way over the top with the Jurassic World series. And now not only do our main characters not die and kids not get hurt at all, but now the raptors are super nice. The story plot makes worse sense than it did before. And even though Blue was in the cage with Owen when he fell in there, or when he went in there to protect the guy who fell in there, they decide to attack him when he runs away, but now they're on motorcycles running next to him, and none of them has the bright idea to know, no, wow, well, let's attack him. Because only moments ago, earlier on in the day, we wanted to attack him for falling in the cage, and now we have a prey-like animal running alongside us, and nobody tries to take a taste. Like, that doesn't seem very realistic. Then all of a sudden, Blue, who, may I remind you, only earlier on hours ago in the day, tried to attack him when he fell in the cage with them, doesn't ever again try to snap at him or do anything. She's just totally docile now. Like, I just forgot that I'm a velociraptor. I'm a golden retriever now. The stakes were up in the beginning of Jurassic World, and then near the end, it just got totally ridiculous. That's what I see a lot of people complaining about, and they're hoping that Jurassic World Dominion won't take that shot. The only gruesome thing we saw in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and I know people get on my case for this, but you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I thought it was stupid, and dare I have an opinion about what I like and I not like, but I didn't really fancy the danger part of things being this Kylie Coyote act by the freaking Indoraptor. Even if the Indoraptor is gonna act like that, Ripper likes to play around with people. He's mischievous, and he closes his eyes and he opens his eyes and smiles and wags his tail like a freaking cartoon character, which just totally took me out of any sense of danger that there was. Have some horror music or something to set the stage, because the music usually sets the stage of the atmosphere, but no, it just felt like this running gag. Like, someone at the set did that to one of their crew members, and they're like, you know what, let's put that in the movie. Then you have people who were like, what are you talking about? It was totally scary, and you know, Ripper, he took his arm off. Like, that's gruesome. No, it was comedic. It was sad. It was funny, and nobody cared about that hunter. You can't take everything seriously. He took his arm off. Blood is not squirting everywhere. It just looked like a freaking prop. It was horrible. Ripper deserved so much better. He was a beautiful design, beautiful character, and there was so much they could have done with them. He's chasing Maisie down the hallway, and as fast as he can run, he can't catch her. Ever catch her, no matter what. He goes up on the roof, and it's not even 2 minutes he's on screen, and Blue comes into the picture, and she's like, gonna kill you right away, and I freaking Triceratops skull horn. Yes, my friends, that is it for the character. Horror averted. When the fans said that they wanted to get back to the roots, to Jurassic Park and how it used to be, they didn't mean every 5 minutes in the newer movie you pay homage by copying a scene from out of Jurassic Park. That's not what you do. That's ridiculous. That's not your movie standing alone. That's you copying off and parodying the first movie, which was an actual horror. Based on what a lot of people are saying in comments and in forums, and based on how I feel, I know I'm not crazy. And a lot of these people are fans of the franchise. They need to bring back the stakes. stakes. They need to make dinosaurs feel like dinosaurs again, and not just fluffy teddy bear looking skin reptiles that we have to save and watch smile. This isn't the Land Before Time. This is Jurassic Park. My hope is that they'll bring back in some kind of aggressor, like another velociraptor, or maybe Blue becomes feral, which is kind of stupid because she's a velociraptor. Feral shouldn't be a word, she should just be wild, but whatever. I get it. They breed them with a whole bunch of different things to make them docile so they don't try to escape, and something like what happened in the first movie doesn't happen again in the subsequent movies. But for Christ's sake, let there at least be another velociraptor that's an actual velociraptor. Let there be some kind of underground dinosaur fighting ring, because you know that's what would happen if these people, these rich people, got their hands on dinosaurs and the embryos. They would breed a whole bunch of fighting dinosaurs. And this movie that's coming up would be the precursor to Pokemon. I want this franchise to continue to succeed. I want it to not just succeed, I want it to be something that people will look at and they'll be like, wow, this is a freaking good franchise. Primal is doing it very well. They have a dinosaur protagonist, and then they have the other dinosaur that feels like dinosaurs. If you haven't watched Jendig Tartakovsky's Primal, you should definitely watch it. He's the guy who also did Samurai Jack. Wonderful. There was always a sense of danger there. And in the season finale, or like the halfway point through the season where they chopped the season in half and then pretends the finale, that was freaking amazing because the main character is actually in danger. You don't know what's going to happen, and they just left that cliffhanger there so we could drool blood wondering what the heck is going on. Even in his little short episode or in betwixt episode, I don't know what that was supposed to be, but it's called Plague of Madness. We did a review on that on this channel as well. We started off with a character that's not really a main character per se of the entire show, but for the little screen time that we've had of that character in its right mind, we bonded with that character. And we're like, wow, this character's so adorable. I don't want anything to happen to him. I felt more for him in those little tiny few minutes than I felt for a lot of the new characters in the newer Jurassic Park movies in the entirety of the movies. I would ordinarily say, oh, that's just me, but it's not just me. A lot of people are saying it too. And possibly the people who like it don't really like seeing bloods and guts and gore and thing. I get that. But honestly, I felt like the Jurassic Park franchise was supposed to be similar to that of the Alien franchise. Alien never lost its spirit. Yes, not all the movies were fantastic, but the aliens were always aliens. They were in different situations and people were in different situations, so there was always something new to consider. There were new versions of aliens, just like there's new species of dinosaurs, but they decide to keep making hybrids for some reason. But you always felt like there was an element of danger when the xenomorphs were around, and main characters got killed, and apparently so much so that they would even get killed off screen with no real explanation as to why. Well, what do you guys think? Do you think that some Jurassic fans are just being really stupid and no, kids should be able to watch it too, there should be no blood, nobody should die because why do they need to? Or do you feel like the stakes need to be higher and yes, it's a dinosaur movie, people should be maimed or killed so that main characters, you actually more invested in them because you know something can happen to them? Let me know in the comments, and thanks so much for watching. This has been Ultiori. You ask, we answer.